There are a lot of worst case scenarios when it comes to AI generated music entering the sync licensing business. Libraries could use AI and no longer need any composer music at all. TV networks could use AI music and no longer have to pay for production music. And what happens when everybody has an AI generated music making app? Making music will just no longer be unique or special anymore. Let's talk about this stuff, let's be honest about it, and let's see how we can find a vision for a future that we can all be hopeful and excited about. Welcome to Sync My Music. My name is Jesse, and if you're new to the channel, I want to welcome you to the community that I believe is going to be at the spearhead front of learning about AI technology and how it could drastically and radically impact our way of making income, especially in the sync licensing industry, but also more broadly for all music creators. Now, recently I made a choice to really start talking and focusing on AI and how it could completely disrupt our industries very soon. And making this choice, I knew that it wasn't going to be easy and that this is going to also come along with a lot of pessimistic, fearful, and sort of really challenging thoughts and emotions about the AI technology world coming in and potentially disrupting what we do. And while I'm very optimistic about where we could potentially go with this new technology in the future, I certainly don't want to just rush past all the very real and valid concerns that many of us, including myself, feel about this technology. Look, this stuff is scary. It just is. As I was doing my initial deep dive into the AI world, I was also pretty freaked out about how powerful this technology is, what the implications might be, and how it's going to inevitably just disrupt everything that we have been relying on for our income, especially in sync licensing. And while now I feel a lot more optimistic about it, I still have waves of fear that essentially run through me every single day. So it's not something that I sort of went through and got over. It actually is something that hit me pretty intensely when I first got into this, and it still comes back basically every single day in various ways, various thoughts, and various emotions. When I feel that fear, it feels like my fight or flight response gets triggered. And there's a really good reason for that, I think, because this is definitely threatening our way of life. Like everything that we have taken for granted, every sort of infrastructure and institution and law that we have been relying on to create our income, it's all gonna be sort of reinvented in the very near future. So that's a really damn good reason why we should be feeling some real fear about this technology. And any change that comes into our lives is scary, right? Especially when it's not one that we initiated. When we lose a loved one, when we lose a job, when we're just forced to go out of our comfort zone in any way, it's tough, it's challenging. And for me at least, the big challenge that I always wrestle with is the fact that I didn't want this change. I wasn't asking for it, I didn't need it, I wasn't looking for something like this to come and completely disrupt my way of life and my total source of income. And I know you guys probably feel that to one degree or another. But in this video, I want to share with you how I personally move past that fear and once again find my optimism and find my hope for the future. And it's something that I constantly do on a daily basis because, like I said, this fear, it just keeps coming back over and over and over again. So it's not a sort of one and done thing that I do, but it's basically a continuous daily practice that I have found has been really effective in keeping my mind in a much healthier place. What actually helps me the most, and it's something that's helped me consistently throughout my life when I have really challenging situations, it's the serenity prayer. Are you guys familiar with it? It says, "God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." That little gem has gotten me through so many tough situations in my life, from heartbreaks to disappointments to major life regrets. It's that little nugget of wisdom that basically helps me find my footing again for how I can reclaim my power. So let's start with the first part, accepting the things that we cannot change. How about AI? Can we change it? I would say no. Can we stop it? I don't think so either. There's something about mankind where we are sort of just glued and addicted to pushing our technology as far as we possibly can. Can we slow AI down? Well, they're talking about doing a little bit of a pause right now, but with or without that pause, I think we all accept that it's gonna come to us sooner or later. So we can't stop it, we can't change it, we might be able to slow it down, but inevitably it's going to arrive in one way or another. So what can we do? Like, where is our power in the seemingly powerless position? The only thing that we really have power over is our own perception and our attitudes towards AI and this new changing landscape that's going to be unfolding in front of us. And if you think about it, in life, that's pretty much mostly all we can really control is ourselves and our own mindset. We can't control others, we can't control technology, we can't control usually the laws. There's just so much out of our control, but the one thing that we usually can always rely on is how we're looking at it, how we're perceiving it, how we're framing it in our own mind. But this is an important point because that is no small thing. That is everything. How we perceive what happens to us in our lives totally rewires our thinking and perception about those events. It's what allows us to have the courage to embrace new change and also remind ourselves that no matter what happens, we'll always be okay. And while we all fear AI to one degree or another, this is a time that demands courage. This is a time where we need leaders to calmly and confidently tackle these issues head on. The only chance that we have to adapt to these new changes is to hold on to that curious and open mindset. No one knows the future, and none of us really know how any of this is going to play out. But if we give into pessimism, or worse yet, divisiveness, it'll make the struggle to remain relevant that much harder. This is already really tough stuff to deal with. So I hope we can figure out a way to stick together through these changes, to figure out how we can support each other. Now, I don't expect us all to agree on everything. In fact, I think a sign of a healthy community is the ability to freely disagree with each other. But we do need to keep those comments and conversations respectful and honoring of each other's humanity through these challenging times. And please know, after watching this video, if you still feel very worried, very concerned about AI and what it's going to do for us or to us, you are totally entitled to feel the way you feel, okay? I am not trying to rush anybody through their concerns or their fears. And there might be some fears that are worth not pushing through yet. We should definitely be having more conversations about those. And I hope you'll share them with me actually as a comment under this video. And I don't think any less of any of you that hold those concerns. Again, they're all very valid. We will all navigate these waters in our own unique ways and on our own unique timelines. And we're all in the ocean together. I have used this analogy in some of my previous videos that essentially how I see it is we're all kind of floating in the ocean, and essentially the AI technological wave that's going to impact music creators is a pretty big tidal wave out there in the ocean. Now, some of us feel that it's closer, other of us feel that it's much further away, and some people might feel that it's never arriving. But either way, we're all in the ocean together, right? And so we're all going to be impacted by this massive change coming towards us. So why not pull together? Why not figure ways to find our common grounds, right? Try to figure out, where do we agree? Where do we share common interests? Where do we both, and all of us, want to protect our rights, protect our art, and most importantly, protect our humanity, which certainly feels at the core of all this is the biggest thing being threatened. So this is how I deal with these really tough issues and how I am finding my own source of inspiration and hope for it. But I know you guys might have different ways of dealing with it. So what I'd like to invite each of you to do is to comment below with either some of your very, very valid concerns or fears that maybe I haven't covered yet in some of these videos, or if you have a different way for how you find your own optimism and courage in these really challenging times, leave it below, because that's how we can start to really help each other out here, give each other a leg up, and really learn from each other, because I'm sure I'm going to learn just as much from you guys and your worlds of expertise and what you really have been exposed to in this industry, maybe more so than you're going to learn from me from all the content I'm going to put out here. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was useful, helpful, maybe calming in some way. That's really my intention here. If you did find it that way, I would love if you left me a like, subscribe to the channel, of course, and share this video with any friends that you feel are really struggling with this, having a lot of anxiety, also feeling that sense of futility of why even get excited about music anymore if all hope is lost already. That's the type of thing that I want my channel and my future content to be sort of the antidote for. I want there to be a source of education, first and foremost, to get us all educated on what's happening here. But more importantly, how to find our excitement again, and also see that change might be struggle, change might be difficult, change might be unwanted or unwelcomed, but change also leads to great opportunities.